All right, so today we're going to be doing a deep dive into the world of football.
Sounds good.
And we're going to be taking a little bit of inspiration from Jean Foutel's YouTube channel. And he finds some really fascinating articles and discussions about the beautiful game. So get ready for some tactical insights, some controversial calls, and even a heartwarming story about a football historian.
Well, that's a pretty wide range.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing how these sources that we found kind of blend the strategic side of game with these human stories. Like, for example, the discussion about Kylian Mbappe's transformation this season.
Oh, yeah. Talking about Mbappé.
Yeah.
It's been incredible to watch his evolution. And the data in that article we found, Mbappé ahora marca como Cristiano y crea juego como Benzema, really highlights that improvement. I mean, after that turning point against Athletic Bilbao, his efficiency just skyrocketed.
Yeah.
Fewer shots, but way more goals. It's like he unlocked a new level to his game.
Yeah, and it's not just about the goals, though. You know, they're comparing him to Karim Benzema's playmaking role.
Huh.
That's really spot on. We're seeing Mbappé create so many more chances for his teammates, like that assist to Brahim Diaz against Celta Vigo. It's just a whole other dimension he's added to his game.
So then that brings up a question. Can a playmaking Mbappé coexist with Vinicius Jr.?
Well, that's the question on everybody's mind, right?
Well,
can those two superstars really share the spotlight?
Exactly.
I mean, that article, Mbappé y Vinicius juntos, ¿Cómo tiene que jugar el Real Madrid de Ancelotti? Really tackles that question. It's like a real puzzle for Ancelotti. You know, there's so much potential, but there are challenges too.
Yeah, Ancelotti's admitted that finding that right balance is going to be key, especially in those high-stakes matches. And then we can't forget about players like Rodrigo and Brahim Diaz. Their roles are so key in creating that balanced attack.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, it's not all about superstars. These sources also shed light on players like Dani Olmo, and his performance at Barcelona has been a little inconsistent. He's got those moments of brilliance, but then the injuries and the lack of consistent impact are raising some questions.
Yeah, that article, Dani Olmo, los datos que os voy a dar esto es la historia, really digs into that.
Yeah.
You know, they talk about the financial investment in Olmo, the uncertainties about his future. It's a familiar story in football. High hopes, hefty price tag, huge pressure to deliver.
And speaking of pressure, how about VAR?
Oh, yeah.
All those controversial calls, especially those offside decisions with Real Madrid, those are sparking some heated debates.
They really are. And you know, the statistics about the number of goals overturned by VAR for Real Madrid versus Barcelona. That article, Clos Gomez Sentenciado, really got me thinking. It makes you wonder about potential biases, and you know how VAR is actually impacting the game.
Well, it's a complex issue. You know, the sources encourage us to look at the data and form our own conclusions.
For sure. Well, now for a story to warm any football fan's heart. One of the sources talked about a decade-long search for a rare book about the history of players in European competitions. And guess what? He found it.
Wow.
I know.
That's amazing. It's incredible how dedicated football fans can be. And the fact that Twitter played a role in completing this collection, that just highlights the power of online communities.
It really does. It's like a digital treasure hunt, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of treasures, let's talk about Uruguay.
Oh, yeah.
What an incredible footballing nation.
They are. Tenemos que hacer algo especial de Uruguay.
It's so true. And the coincidences like goalkeeper Fernando Muslera, his birth date aligning with Argentina's World Cup elimination by Uruguay. That's just wild.
It is wild. And then there's the story of Luis Suarez and Edinson Cavani, both coming from the same small town. Shows that amazing talent can blossom anywhere. You know, it's fascinating. These little anecdotes really add something to our understanding of the game. It's not all tactics and statistics. It's history, passion, these unexpected connections. That's what makes football so captivating. It really reminds us that football, you know, it's a global phenomenon. These stories, they transcend borders and generations.
It really is. It's constantly evolving, too. Like the Champions League format, Despejados T1-E12 explores the pros and cons of that new structure. And it's created some interesting debates.
Yeah, like the whole discussion about whether it's better to finish in the top 8 or the bottom 8. So you can avoid certain teams in the knockout stage. It just shows how strategic the tournament really is.
It's like a game of chess. Each team's trying to anticipate their opponent's moves.
Yeah.
And maximize their chances.
Exactly. And you know, while the new format has its critics, it definitely adds some excitement to that final match day.
For sure. Speaking of excitement, did you see that weird trend with pineapples in the grocery store?
The piña en el carro phenomenon. Yeah. That is strange.
It's so bizarre. Who knew a pineapple could become like a social signal or something?
It's true, though.
It's crazy.
It shows that even in our data-driven world, there's still room for those unexpected and absurd moments.
Definitely. Like that whole story about the confidentiality agreement Broncano had to sign
Yeah.
because of that disturbing video.
Oh, yeah. The mystery of that unseen footage. It's definitely intriguing.
What could be so shocking?
Right.
It's like a real-life Pulp Fiction briefcase. We may never know.
Exactly.
But speaking of captivating stories, we got to mention that football historian who finally found that missing volume of his book collection.
It's a great story.
Is
That decade-long search. And
Yeah.
then that random Twitter connection. It's truly inspiring.
It really is.
It shows the power of perseverance and how connected we are in this digital age.
Sometimes the things we're looking for are right in front of us,
Yeah.
just waiting to be discovered.
It's true.
And sometimes all it takes is the kindness of strangers to help us complete the puzzle.
I like that.
It's the beauty of shared passions. Brings people together from all walks of life. Like how our fascination with Uruguay led to that great discussion about Muslera, Suarez, and Cavani.
Oh, yeah. Those anecdotes are fantastic. Uruguay's footballing heritage is so rich. It's amazing that a country with a relatively small population has produced so many world-class players.
It really is. It's a testament to their dedication, their talent, and that unwavering passion for the sport.
It speaks to the universal appeal of football. It doesn't matter where you come from. The thrill of the game, the camaraderie, the pursuit of victory. It resonates with all of us.
It really does. So well said. Did you hear about that player who lived in Badajoz
Oh, yeah.
and how his experience there shaped his playing style?
It just goes to show you, Ali aprendió todo lo que sabe. A player's journey is often influenced by those unexpected experiences.
It's
The places they've been, the people they've met, it all contributes to their development.
It's like a tapestry, woven from different threads, each one representing a unique chapter in their story.
I like.
And sometimes those seemingly insignificant chapters are the most transformative.
That's why these deep dives are so great. We uncover those hidden gems and those fascinating details that add so much to our understanding of the game.
It's like peeling back the layers of an onion.
That's a good one.
New insights with every turn.
Sometimes those insights bring a tear to your eye, like that story about the commentator's daughter who didn't recognize Michael Laudrup.
Oh, man. That was hilarious. The irony of being starstruck by someone your kid has no clue about. It's a universal parenting experience.
It's true.
It happens to the best of us.
It's a reminder that even the most legendary figures can be anonymous to some, and that our heroes are often shaped by the era we grew up in.
It's all about perspective.
Yeah.
Speaking of different perspectives, let's dive into that debate on El Chiringuito about Barcelona's performance.
Oh, yeah. Jose Alvarez and Pedro, they had clashing viewpoints about Barcelona's strengths and weaknesses, especially their defensive vulnerabilities. It just highlights how subjective football analysis can be.
It's like that saying, one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Exactly.
What one person sees as a flaw, another might see as an opportunity.
And those different opinions are what fuel those passionate discussions.
That's what keeps the football world buzzing.
It's all part of the fun.
Debating tactics, analyzing performances, arguing about who's the best. That's what makes being a football fan so great.
You got that right. And those discussions, they often reveal those underlying biases and loyalties.
Yeah.
It adds another layer to the conversation.
It's like a psychological game within the game. Emotions and allegiances, they can really influence how we see those events on the pitch.
They really can.
Speaking of psychological games, Carlo Ancelotti's management style, El Chiringuito, talked about how his approach might affect the players, especially with stars like Mbappé and Vinicius Jr.
Yeah, that discussion about Ancelotti prioritizing players with higher salaries over those who are in better form, that's a controversial one.
It is.
It raises questions about fairness, motivation, and the balance between individual talent and team need.
It's a classic dilemma for any manager. How do you keep a squad full of superstars happy and focused on the collective goal?
It's not easy.
It's not.
It's a reminder that football isn't just a physical game, it's a mental one too.
Right.
Managing egos, expectations, competitive spirit, that can be just as crucial as any tactic.
It's like a giant puzzle. Each player is a unique piece,
I like that.
and they need to fit perfectly to create a cohesive and successful picture.
And sometimes those pieces need to be rearranged, rotated, even sacrificed.
To achieve the desired outcome.
It's true.
Those strategic decisions made by managers, both on and off the pitch, can have a huge impact on a team's destiny.
It's like a high-stakes chess match.
It is.
Every move has consequences.
And it's those high-stakes moments.
that often define a team's legacy.
The pressure,
Yeah.
the tension, the exhilaration of victory. Those are the experiences that stay with us.
And it's in those moments that a team's true character is revealed, you know? Despejato's T1E12 talks about Ancelotti's approach in those high-pressure matches, and it's pretty interesting. They say he's willing to accept defeat in some games just to secure that top 8 finish in the Champions League.
Oh, wow.
It begs the question, does pragmatism outweigh ambition?
It's a tough call. You got to weigh realistic goals against the desire to win it all.
Exactly. And then you've got the fans, you know, with their passion and high expectations, they add a whole other layer of pressure.
Oh, for sure. Speaking of passionate fans,
Mm-hmm.
one of the sources told this amazing story about a guy who's completely devoted to Eintracht Frankfurt.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, his dedication is incredible. He started following the team during their promotion season, and he's been collecting memorabilia ever since. Even has that special 2012-2013 jersey.
That's awesome.
I know, it shows how deeply fans connect with their clubs. It's more than just support. You know, it's about belonging to a community, sharing in the triumphs and the heartbreaks, creating memories that last a lifetime.
You got that right.
And sometimes those memories are sparked by unexpected moments, like that story about watching the Denmark-Uruguay match with his young son.
Oh, yeah.
It reminds us that football transcends generations, you know, creating those shared experiences that connect families and friends.
It does, and it inspires us to explore the history of the game, to learn about the legends and the stories that shaped the sport we love. Speaking of which, have you ever seen those official FIFA reports from the World Cups?
No.
We got some from 1974 and 1986. They're packed with tactical analysis, player profiles, behind-the-scenes insights. It's amazing.
Wow. A treasure trove of information.
It is.
It's incredible to see how much depth there is to this game. It's more than just entertainment. It's a subject worthy of serious study.
Absolutely. The evolution of tactics, new play-in styles, the impact of technology. There's so much to uncover.
And it's constantly evolving, too, which keeps things exciting.
For sure, like the rise of playmaking forwards like Mbappé, who's drawing comparisons to Benzema.
What's the next big tactical shift going to be?
Exactly what's going to change the way football is played.
Who knows? But that's the beauty of it. You never know what brilliant move or stunning goal is going to happen next. Keeps us on the edge of our seats.
And that unpredictability, that human element, it shines through, even in this world obsessed with data.
At the end of the day, it's the journey, not just the destination.
So true. The wins and losses, the highs and lows, the unexpected twists and turns, it all creates this incredible tapestry.
Well said. This deep dive, inspired by Jean Futol, has given us a whole new appreciation for the complexity, the passion, the sheer joy of football. So if you haven't already, do yourself a favor and subscribe to his channel.
Definitely.
You won't regret it, and tell your friends about it too. Until next time, keep exploring, keep debating, and keep the love for the beautiful game alive.